Welcome back to Show Me Sanjo. We're about to meet Julia, an American from upstate New York who's been in Japan for around 10 years now and who lived in places such as Niigata City and Tokyo before moving here to Sanjo. Julia invited me over to chat about life in Sanjo and to show me the house that she and her husband found on Sanjo's Akiya Bank. Afterwards, she takes me to meet her bees and introduces me to the world of beekeeping. Enjoy! Morning, Julia.
Good morning, David. Come on in.
Great, thank you. I'm here today with Julia. Julia, thanks for having us here in your home today.
Thanks for coming.
Why move to the Japanese countryside?
Well, my husband's from Sanjo. So when we decided we wanted a house, we started to look up the 0円家.
Right,
and you could look in different areas for houses that those grandkids are trying to get rid of.
Right.
So please buy my grandparents' house. I'll just give it to you.
Right.
Take it. And from there, we kind of found the Akiya Bank.
Okay.
And wow, this is like a listing. It has all these houses. And of course, we want to be in Sanjo.
Right.
So it was a much better tool for us than the 0円websites. It was very casual.
Casual?
Yes. When we contacted them and said, hey, we're interested in this house.
Right.
We'd like to see it. Someone from City Hall came and he had his young son with him, which actually was a blessing because I had my daughter with me.
Perfect.
We could play.
Perfect. Do you mind if we walk around your house a little bit?
Not at all.
Great. Just wondering if there's any other parts to the Akiya Bank. Oh, that happens all the time.
So after you buy a house, when you go to renovate it, you can get a certain portion of your renovation fees back as a subsidy. We redid the kitchen entirely, and the changing room by the bathroom. The floor was rotten, so we redid that as well.
Okay.
And then the rest that we could do this time was more like aesthetic. So changing the wallpaper, and there was a little bit of like eco maintenance. We added another set of windows to try to heat proof and weatherproof the house a little bit.
Right, yeah, it must be a nightmare with these big old beautiful open windows in the wintertime. So.
Yeah, we haven't figured that out yet.
But hey, the view is worth it. And I saw over there you have a treadmill looking out into like this beautiful Japanese garden, and that's the way I want to do my exercise. So good for you. What features drew you to this home that you chose? I mean, beautiful gardens.
Yep, so the garden is great. Also, the size and location.
Okay.
And yes, it's really big.
Yes.
We know it's really big.
Huge. It's huge.
But we wanted to have space. We wanted to have outdoor space.
Yep.
Away from the neighbors.
Yep.
A place where I could let my daughter play unsupervised if I wanted to.
Okay.
Not right now, but
this
area has really kind of everything you need. There are schools. There's an elementary and at least 2 middle schools. There's 3 daycares, a supermarket, bank. My husband's job is 10 minutes by car.
Perfect.
My job is in Tsubame, at least, is 10 minutes away.
Yep.
So honestly, like, it's the most convenient location, but we still have enough space to have some privacy from the neighbors. I mean, again, we wanted to have a mountain, so this was our compromise.
And how is it now that you're here?
I think it's actually much better. I'm not stressed. Of course, this is I think a better environment to raise my daughter in.
Do you wish you would have just started from scratch instead of buying an Akiya?
I've gone back and forth, and I guess even like for better or for worse, I don't think we could have gotten the land size and the house size that we wanted had we started from scratch. Because like buying the land and then building the house probably would have been about the same, or if not even a little bit more.
Right.
But it wouldn't have been in this area, and we would have ended up with a house that perhaps I don't like as much.
Okay.
I always say it in Japanese, but like a lot of these new houses, like seikaku ga nai.
Yeah, okay.
When I'm in the States, I'm in New York, we have a lot of like big old Victorian houses that are just these huge castles that have been left to waste.
Right.
And it's such a waste. And I really feel like that about a lot of Japanese houses, the quintessential, black house with lots of beautiful wood everywhere. And I love it. I always have. So I'm happy that I finally was able to acquire my the house of my dreams, basically.
Congratulations, I'm vicariously living through you in this home, so
well, it's
enjoy.
Big enough that you could probably live here too if you wanted to.
Be careful what you wish for. But what do you do for fun here in Sanjo?
I like to work with my bees.
Okay. Bees?
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
Well, when I lived in Tokyo, I thought I was getting interested in bees.
Okay.
So I worked with the Ginza Mitsubashi project based in Tokyo, and I started to learn beekeeping through volunteer work with that group in Ginza.
Okay.
Then when I moved to Sanjo with my husband, one of the goals I had was I wanted to start beekeeping myself.
Right. So do you sell honey?
I don't yet because we're still such a small prospect.
Okay.
Honestly, more than selling honey, I would rather sell education.
Wow.
So my goal is to go into schools and
Yep.
actually do classes about bees and the environment.
I was actually thinking about going into like natural sciences, and I was going to go to like environmental school, and this was going to be what I studied. Then I came to Japan, and then I got on like Japanese train.
Right.
And I've been on that train for a long time. And now I'm married, I've got a kid, I speak Japanese really well. I feel like, I've gone pretty far up, there's not a whole lot left up here maybe when it comes to like language and culture. So I'm feeling pretty satisfied. So now I'm going back to like the actual environmental interest that I had.
Right.
So just being around nature and being able to kind of use that as a way to improve my surroundings, to kind of share this joy with other people is probably the most like satisfying part for me.
And I'm kind of slowly trying to build a community like I had in Tokyo, which was so much fun for me.
Okay.
So my goal is to make the same thing here and to make this environment good for me and hopefully much better future for my daughter.
They don't go for your hands.
Nope, they don't. If you're very gentle with bees, they'll remember that you're gentle, and they won't really attack you too much.
So they know who you are.
I think they do.
How much time do you think you spend doing beekeeping every week?
Usually I'm out here like an hour or two on Sundays.
Okay.
And that's kind of about it. So from April till about November.
Right. So it's like a once a week type of thing.
Yep. So and a lot of people do beekeeping on the weekend. Yes, they are an animal and they do need some kind of maintenance, but they're not a dog or a cat. They need something every day.
Right.
Because again, they're independent. They're my swarms, and I've lost swarms before, and you cry. It's just like, what did you do wrong? But you learn from that. There's just so much stuff out here that you wouldn't see normally, and by the time you leave, you just feel so refreshed, right?
Right.
Like mentally, like physically, even though it's hard work and you get sweaty afterwards, but when you leave, it's just like, you feel cleansed in some way.
Julia, thanks for having us over to talk about your home and to show us your yard, and then today to show us your beehives. That was really cool. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, David.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
Bye.
One more. Just come in. You leave me hanging for so long.
What?
My hand's there for like 5 seconds.
You're still talking.
I know. Yeah, you can shake hands while I'm talking.
Okay.